If you're a language teacher or a language student are looking for ideas on how to develop your students' autonomy or your own autonomy, and some great ideas for helping you to study languages at home on your own, you're really going to like this video. I'm going to give you 5 key tips, and they're relevant to language learning in all different languages. I'm going to start by looking at a tool called Youglish, and I'm going to show you a couple of great ideas with Youglish. This technology allows you to choose a word that you're looking for and then find lots of examples of that word being used in context, but it can also be used for lots of other things. So I'm going to show you 2 concrete ideas that I really like with Youglish. This is a fantastic website and it's called Youglish. But the great thing is you can use it in English, but actually you can use it in lots of other languages, and I use it a lot in Polish. Now all you need to do is write a word in that you're looking for examples of how that word works in context. And the great thing is that it works with YouTube videos, so it will find hundreds of YouTube videos with examples of the words that you are searching for. Let me give you an example. If you want to use another language, all you need to do is click here and choose the language. You can see all the languages that you can choose from. So let's put, for example, the word fragile into Youglish and click on say it. And what it's going to do is it's going to search for loads of examples with the word fragile actually being used in the sentence. And we can see the words here below. And if I start playing it now, I will see the example and then I can move on and listen to another example. Let me show you.
Support our fragile sense of self. We slip into thinking.
Now if I want to listen to another one, I can just click here. And it's going to move on to another one.
The skeletons of corals are becoming porous and fragile. This is similar to...
Let's say that I want to click on another one. And notice that each time...
purging and
Notice that each time it highlights the word as well.
As though they're fragile, as though they'll be damaged. And this was something new.
Really like that. Now I'm going to give you a second tip when working with Youglish that I really use a lot. So let's try another example in a different language. So we're going to click here and we're going to change this time to Spanish. And we're just going to quickly write a word in. So let's do a simple word. Let's do encantado. Okay, I'm going to click on say it and see if we get examples of sentences.
Hola Roberto, encantado de estar aquí contigo. Que sepas que yo también soy padre.
Okay, so perfect. Let's click on another example.
Y bueno, pues estoy encantado de estar aquí con todos vosotros, todas vosotras.
Now, another little tip is that I use a lot is that often if I find a sentence that I like, and I'm going to go back to the one before.
Hola, Robert.
What I can do then is I can actually copy that sentence. So I can actually just copy the whole sentence, click on copy. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this into Google Translate. So I'm going to jump over to Google Translate, and I've got Google Translate. It's just one of the free apps that you get in Google. I'm going to choose Spanish, and then I'm going to paste this word in Spanish, and then I can get the English translation of that word, and of course I could have it translated into all sorts of languages. I'm going to just translate it into English, and then what I can do is simply afterwards I can save that word in my collection of saved words. And now if I want to see my saved words, I just click here and I can see a huge collection of all the sentences that I've been saving recently. Now I usually use this for learning Polish rather than learning Spanish, but if I click here, for example, I can hear that sentence in Spanish.
Hola, Roberto. Encantado de estar aquí contigo.
And of course then I can practice saying that word. And you can see here that I continually use this idea when I'm working with Google Translate, and all of these words and sentences come from YouTube videos. Now actually Youglish can do a lot more than I'm just showing you here, and if you scroll down you'll see that it gives you lots more information that we can also work with. Now if you want to learn more about what Youglish can do, click on the video that's on the screen now. It goes into Youglish in more detail, but I'm going to carry on now and give you some more tips on developing your autonomy. Another great tip is to learn to use Google Translate, but I'm going to show you something really special about Google Translate now, and this is the way that I use it when I'm studying Polish. This is a really nice technique. I use it all the time. It really helps me. Let's say, for example, I've just written in this sentence here into Google Translate, I rent a bike. And the translation here,
Wypożyczam rower.
okay, wypożyczam rower. Now I'm going to add that, and you can see I've already done it. I've added it into my collection of words. And remember, I can click here at any time and just see my collection. I'm going to close that for now. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write a different sentence. I'm going to say, we rented a motorbike, or let's say we rented a bike. So I'm using we, and I'm doing it in the past sentence, and I'm going to save that as well. In other words, what I do is when I'm looking for a key word that I want to learn, which in this case is to rent or rented in the past, then I'll do more than one sentence so that I can hear that word being used lots of times, and it gives me the opportunity to learn it several times in different sentences. And if I click here and we've added that word in, and let me just give you an example. So I'm just going to click away from that word, just going to close that down, click here. You'll see that this is what I do a lot. So we rented a bike, I rent a bike, we rented a motorbike, I rented a car for the week. And this gives me the opportunity to hear that same word lots and lots of times, and I can click and listen.
Wypożyczyliśmy rower. Wypożyczam rower. Wypożyczyliśmy motocykl. Wypożyczyłem samochód na tydzień.
And that is so powerful. The fact, and what I can really do with this in a minute, is that I'm going to actually, if I wanted to, I could bring this into Quizlet now. So I could collect together all these sentences and practice them in Quizlet. Now, if you want to learn more about how Google Translate and Quizlet work together, which is a brilliant combination, there's a video on the screen now that you can click on, and it will show you that technique. But even just having the words here as a collection is a great way of working, but you can also, with one or two more button clicks, put those same words into Quizlet. Just a really quick break from the video. I hope you're enjoying the video, and if you are, please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free videos that you can access. You can also find out about all my courses. They're always advertised on the opening page. And please sign up to the newsletter. If you sign up to the newsletter, you get updated with all the blog posts, the webinars, the online courses, and the videos. And at the moment, if you sign up, there is a 12-part free video course in using technology in teaching. And I send you a video about every 5 days. Let's get back to the video. Another great thing to learn to do if you want to be more autonomous as a learner is to organize your videos on YouTube. There's something called playlists. Many students and teachers don't know about playlists, and they're so useful, and they're the way that I organize all my learning in Polish. I'm going to show you how playlists work now. They're so useful for language learning. Let me start by first of all showing you what playlists are. If you come to your YouTube channel and look over here on the left hand side, so you've got your YouTube channel that you come onto. If you come over to the left hand side and you click here, you'll even see that you have a few automatic playlists. For example, any videos that you've liked. But if you click show more, you'll just see how much or how frequently I use playlists, and I create playlists for all sorts of things. So what is a playlist? A playlist is a collection of different videos that you've found on one topic that you want to save together. Now, why is it useful? Well, let me give you an example in Polish. I'm just going to scroll down here, and I've got a great example here. Polish present simple. All of these videos are videos about Polish in the present simple, and what I can do is I can play them all. And often, say when I'm in the house and I'm on my own, or I'm walking down the street and I want to practice my Polish and I want to hear the present simple, I simply open up this playlist and play it back. So from a student's point of view, it's brilliant because you can play the whole video and it will play all of the videos in that playlist. Now, for teachers, it's a great way of collecting together groups of videos that they like on a particular subject, and you can share your playlists with your students. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how you make a playlist now. It really is a useful tip to know in YouTube. So let me show you an example. I'm going to look for some, I'm going to do shopping in English, which is an example I always show, but it's just a very simple one. Okay, and let's imagine that I come here, and I don't know if you know this, but you can also filter. So I'm only going to look for perhaps videos that have got subtitles. So now I'm only looking for videos with subtitles, and perhaps also I'm going to look for videos that are only, say, 4 minutes long, or maybe 20 minutes long. Doesn't matter. Let's imagine now then that I find a particular video that I like, and I want to save this video because I think, wow, this video is really useful, and I'm going to create a playlist of videos that are to do with shopping in English. All I need to do is to click on save. I'm going to create a new playlist, and I'm going to call this list shopping in English. Now you can either keep this playlist private, or there's really two good ways to do it. Do it public, that means everyone can find your playlist, and that's a great idea because you can help lots of people. But if not, then just do it unlisted. And unlisted means that if you share the link to that playlist, then people will be able to watch it. Now, one thing, I better write the word shopping correctly. So I've got it shopping in English. Now I'm going to create that. So I've now got one video in my playlist, and in a minute we're going to look at that video. But let's imagine that a week later we find another really good video on shopping in English that we want to save. We can click again on save, come to our playlist. We might have to look through. You can see I've got hundreds, but normally your new playlists will be at the top. Click on that, and that video has now been added to that particular playlist. Now let's imagine that it's a few weeks later and we found another brilliant video on shopping in English that we want to save. Again, we come to the video. Let me just skip the ad. In fact, it doesn't matter if I skip the ad, but I'm going to click on share. Sorry, not share, apologies. Click on save, find the playlist and add it. And now we've got 3 videos in that playlist. Now when you want to find your playlist, all you need to do is just come over here, click here, and you'll see them on the left hand side. Now in my case, if I come down here, because I've got so many, if I just scroll down, what I can do is click on show more. Your playlist will normally be here, and I can notice that shopping in English, it's actually there, but you can see all my playlists here. Now if I click on that playlist, I've got my 3 videos, and I can play now that whole list all the way through by just clicking on play all. And now I can play that list, and it will play the first video, then it will play the second one, and then it will play the third one. Now if I want to share this playlist with my students, well, the easiest thing to do now is just to click on share and share that link, copy that link and share that playlist with my students. So if I was creating a playlist of videos that I want my students to watch, then that would be the easiest way to do it. If I come back, and I'll just show you one more thing about your playlist as well. If you've got your videos in your playlist and there's any that you're not happy with and you want to delete them, you can just click here and remove that particular video from your playlist. Now if you want to learn more about playlists, I'm going to put a video on the screen now that will go into much more detail about what you can do with playlists, because playlists are really useful and there are actually a number of things that you can do with them. Another great trick is to learn to use the transcripts. Now people get confused about the transcripts in YouTube. There are 3 types, and I want to highlight the most useful transcripts for you and also give you a couple of tips on how to use them. People often misunderstand the way that transcripts work in YouTube, and I'm going to try my best to explain them to you because there are 3 types. First of all, some transcripts are actually embedded into the video. That is, that when the video is made, the transcript is added. So there's no text that you can play around with because it's actually in the video itself. Those in a way are the least useful for language learners because you can't manipulate them and save chunks of them and copy them. They're embedded into the video. The second type of transcript is where it's been automatically generated by YouTube, and this is only possible if the person that uploaded the video turned that facility on. So it's actually something that depends on whether the person that's made the video has allowed automatic generation of the subtitles. The third type is where the person that's added up the video has also added up as a script into YouTube. the translation or the script of the actual video. And these types of transcripts are the most useful, because then you can obviously work with those. Automatic generation ones are also good, but obviously they're often not as accurate. So what we're going to do now is look at an example with a script added and just show you some of the things that you can do with it. So the first thing is that you can find the script by simply clicking, if you know that the video's got a script in it, and it's always a good idea when you search for videos, when you do a search for a video, just to quickly show you that, to click and then use the filters and choose videos with subtitles, because that's really going to help you to find videos that have got subtitles. I'm going to use this example because I know it works. It's one that I found in Polish. Notice that the subtitles come up onto the screen, but also if I click here, I can change that to another language. So I could, for example, choose English, and now I've got the subtitles in English. Or in fact, I can even auto-generate from the video. This is what obviously is done by YouTube, but in this case the user has uploaded both the script in English and in Polish, which is fantastic. Now, really useful to me apart from that, and I normally listen to it in Polish with the subtitles in Polish. Another really useful thing though is that you can click here and you can open the transcript on the side. Now again, this transcript I can, and this can be quite interesting, I can have the transcript in Polish here and in English here. I get the choice of all the languages that the script has been uploaded in. So I could have this in Polish as well, or I could have it in English. Now the nice thing about this is that it's really easy to copy. So if I want to copy and maybe add that sentence into Google Translate, I can do that. Now there are many more things that you can do with YouTube, and I'm going to put on the screen now a general video about some of the best things that you can do with YouTube when it comes to language learning. Really hoped you liked that video. Please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free content, and you can see all of my courses on the opening page. Don't forget to sign up to the newsletter. That way you get updated with all the latest blog posts, the webinars, the latest videos and the courses. Of course, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click on the bell. That way you'll get all the updates. And finally, if you do want to contact me, perhaps about doing a conference or doing some training with your organization, you can contact me from the website. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to leave some videos on the screen now of some other technologies that you might find really useful if you're a language learner or a language teacher.